Hey everyone, this is Blackhawk SC, and if you follow my channel for some time, you may know that I've done a video on the Deathstrike before. This video is going to be a little bit different because this is not a build guide or review of the DS, but instead I'll break down my thoughts on why this mech is currently so dominant in quick play. It's definitely not as pay to win as some of PGI's past creations, but it's likely the best solo queue mech in the game right now. If you want a more comprehensive look at the DS, I'll link you to an earlier review in the description. The Deathstrike is not a perfect mech by any means. It has severe weaknesses. For example, the typical build that you see on it runs really hot and is relatively slow compared with the rest of the team. But the issue is that in the solo queue, its strengths get amplified and its weaknesses aren't exploited nearly as much. And I hope this video will demonstrate what I'm talking about. Before moving on to gameplay, let's take a look at the skill tree that I'm using on this mech. In firepower, I concentrate on heat gen while making sure we get both magazine capacity nodes. I get most of durability, and also most of heat management, and I get 60% of radar depth. I don't do the double cool shots, although if you have plenty of C-builds, you should get this tree as well. Okay, let's get right into a match. Alright, so map selection is the first reason why the Deathstrike is strong. Right now, cold maps like HPG and Frozen City are picked at a much higher frequency than maps like Terra Therma and Caustic, which favors high alpha builds like this. So this Thunderbolt is simply staring at me without firing any weapons, and he's pretty much inviting me to take a shot at him. In QP, players tend to give their frontal profiles quite a bit, making the lasers on the DS much more pinpoint than they ought to be.
Target acquired.
So this Annihilator here just stands still while looking for a shot. Annihilators are slow and they must keep up with their team, but this player doesn't really do this. As far as our team's concerned, he's pretty much free damage. The other thing is that ER large laser mechs need some speed to reposition us to get good angles and take advantage of their range. The Annihilator is definitely not suited for that playstyle. In QP, many players just take builds that pose less of a threat than they could have. This Uzio pretty much lost his left torso in that shot. Again, it's not a very good build with only 2 ER large lasers on the 50-ton mech, which is something that can be done on a Spider as well. But more importantly, I was already in a position where he could easily spot me if he looked slightly to his side, but he didn't do that. So lack of situational awareness is another problem in QP, and the Deathstrike is able to punish mechs hard when they don't see you.
Target acquired. Target acquired. Target acquired. New target.
This Mad Cat MKII is the first real threat that we face. He's got a good build and he's in a good position to take some shots at the mechs upstairs. But after I shoot him, he backs down instead of taking advantage of my cooldown to shoot back. The point is sometimes it's not the build that's wrong, but how the players use them. For example, knowing when they're at a disadvantage or an advantage against the mechs that they're facing.
Critical. New target acquired. New target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired.
These two guys we were shooting at before, and they couldn't be saved. So all that's left now is to finish off the rest of the team. A little bit of a spoiler, we did lose in the end, but it could have easily been won if our team spread out at the end. Unfortunately, bringing a great chassis doesn't guarantee that you'll do great comms.
Warning, incoming missile. Pulse ammo at 25%. Target acquired. New target acquired. Target destroyed.
This quad LBX direwolf loadout is another build that I wouldn't recommend. I think a lot of people misunderstand what the effective range is on the LBX autocannons, so they'll put it on mechs that aren't well suited for short range engagements.
Heat level critical.
Although HPG has been around for several years, many players still haven't figured out that the top is the dominant position on this map in quick play. The team on the bottom or on the second level are more spread out and can't help each other, whereas the team on the top can access any direction quickly and concentrate fire on that side. The way to counter this in group play is to coordinate peeks from multiple sides, but teams in a solo queue rarely do this. There's another very important element that this game doesn't show, which is that light and small mediums are relatively uncommon in the solo queue, and good light pilots are even more so. There's nothing more dangerous to a Deathstrike than a well-piloted light who can sneak up behind you and crit you and possibly even kill you. But there's too few people playing lights this way to make it a huge concern in solo. Alright guys, I hope you found this video to be informative, and make sure to give this a thumbs up if you do. I like doing these kinds of analysis videos, so if you enjoy detailed breakdowns of how certain mechs are played, please subscribe and click the notification bell to get the latest updates from this channel. I'll see you next time.